Hello and welcome to Across Louisiana. My name is Steve Sawyer, your host for the program. So happy you joined us today. Got a great show lined up for you. Kristen Engeron. Kristen is the president of NOLA MotorSports. Noel. Lauren is with the Historic New Orleans Collection. Leslie Hoffman is Get Fit with Leslie and the host and producer of that show and a longtime Cox favorite. And then Ellen Abington. Ellen is the president of the Sabine Humane Society, and she's got a couple of guests with her that I know you'll enjoy seeing. Steve Sawyer again, your host. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. We want to thank you so much for being a part of the show today. Very happy to kick off the show with Kristen Engeron. Kristen is the president of NOLA MotorSports, and we were talking before the show, you've been out there a little over a year now.
Just had my 1 year anniversary.
And I got to tell you, personal experience, the most incredible place that I think this facility, this community has. It's located out by the TPC. I play a lot of golf at the TPC, and whenever I hear those cars and motorcycles running, I want to get over there and ride. You have,
Thank you.
And I want to jump right into this because I want to make sure we have enough time. You've got some exciting news that we just found out that, I mean, it's phenomenal for this area, and I'll let you start with that.
Yes, so back the first week of May, we had a major press announcement at the track with Governor Jindal, with President Ilario, and the president of IndyCar, Mark Miles, announcing that our facility and our city has been selected to have an Indy race for the 2015 season.
That is incredible.
So we are very excited. We have not been told what the date is yet. We're hoping to have a date here in the next 2 months, because they're looking to finalize their schedule for the 2015 racing season. And so once we get the date, we'll be making another big announcement.
And that is
to let the public know about that.
How much of an economic impact?
That is a $100 million economic impact over 3 years. The
Wow.
good news is IndyCar awarded us a 5-year deal, which again, we're expecting anywhere between 40 to 65,000 in attendance over a 3-day race weekend.
That is incredible. And now for a track that new, I mean, is that uncommon to have something awarded that quick?
No, it's we're very different. We're a very different facility than a lot of the other tracks around the country, and we're different in the fact that we're not just a track. We like to promote ourselves as an autotainment place. So we do a lot of corporate special events. As most people know, their first experience out there is with our karting facility and whatnot. So because we've got that 32,000 special events facility that sits right on the main track, then we typically can do a lot of things that most racing venues can't.
Kristen, let's do this before we run out of time. Jefferson Chamber, Cox is a member of the chamber. Todd does a great job. A huge event coming up August the 7th is the Grand Prix.
Yes.
The third time that this has happened.
Expanded the teams.
Expanded the course. I got to admit, I was involved in it last year.
It was fun.
The facility is just absolutely phenomenal. And I know Todd said we've got 30 teams this year.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about the Grand Prix and what people can expect in that.
So like you said, it's Thursday, August the 7th from 5 to 9 p.m. Again, it's expanded to 30 teams. We've expanded it to both tracks, so it's the entire almost 1.2 mile of track that we'll be able to run on. But the main focus, I think, this year is also to make it a spectator event, very family friendly.
Yeah.
So we're talking about having some dunking booths, some water slides, some bounce houses. Again, beverages, food, beer, of course, not before you drive.
I don't need that.
No, afterwards. And last year was a phenomenal success. So we're looking forward to having it again this year as well.
Kristen, thank you so much for coming on the show. Please continue to come back on the show, update us.
Thank you.
NOLA MotorSports is just an absolutely jewel. I mean, I can't tell you how many people that I've just taken out there after a round of golf. We drive over, and it's just a great, it's just such a great facility, and I hope everybody gets a chance to go out and look. The Jefferson Chamber event is phenomenal. Cox had a team last year, and just as a spectator to come out and watch a bunch of us idiots on a track racing at 60 miles an hour is a lot of fun. Kristen, congratulations on the announcements. That's incredible. Again, please come back.
Thank you, Steve.
We'll be right back. and welcome back to Across Louisiana again. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. Very happy to have in the studio Miss Lauren Noel. Lauren is with the Historic New Orleans Collection, and I believe you're the marketing associate there.
I am.
Thank you so much for taking time to be on the show.
Thank
Tell
you.
us a little bit about the New Orleans Collection, kind of the mission of the organization, so to speak.
Absolutely. The Historic New Orleans Collection is a museum, research center, and a publisher in the heart of the French Quarter. We have two campuses. Our main campus is on Royal Street between St. Louis and Toulouse. It's at 533 Royal Street. And our research center is over on Charter Street at 410 Charters. So what the collection does is we promote and protect the history and culture of this region. We were founded by General Kemper and Leela Williams in the 70s, and we opened. Yes, so we've been around for quite a while.
You have been.
Yes, a lot of people don't realize just how long we've been around, but that is our main mission.
Now, this is going to sound like a crazy question, but it may be. Do you have? Is it? I tend to want to think of the word museum when I think of the New Orleans Collection. So, I mean, is it a museum in itself where you can come and see all of the work you guys do?
We do. So we have gallery space where we have rotating exhibitions. We actually have 3 rotating exhibitions up right now.
So it's always things different that
Yeah,
are,
but we also have a permanent display called the Louisiana History Galleries. That's kind of our flagship display. That's over on Royal Street.
Okay.
And it is free to tour, and what you do is you go upstairs in our Royal Street complex, and it displays more than 300 years of New Orleans and Louisiana history. And all the items in the galleries are from our holdings. They're things that we have collected and that we maintain. And you walk through it and you get kind of an overview of the history of the region from early settlement through modern day.
Wow, and now your website, and we'll put this on the screen, is www.hnoc.org. All the information can be found about locations and
hours, admission. Most of our exhibitions are free. You can take a guided tour of our facilities for $5 a person. So everything is very inexpensive.
And a guided tour, I'm sure they would talk a little bit about what the collection is and what the pieces are and things like that.
So we have 2 guided tours that are available right now. One guided tour is of actually the home of our founders, the Williamses, as I mentioned. It's the Williams residence, and you can take a tour of that with a docent, and the docent will tell you about the founders themselves, kind of who they were, where they came from, because they were preservationists. They moved into the quarter when it was actually slated for demolition in the early 1900s, and so they were part of an early preservation movement to protect the quarter and kind of restore it to its former glory. And so they moved in, and you can actually tour where they lived. It's an old townhouse, originally built in 1889.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
that
so
is incredible. Let me do this real quick before we run out of time. You've got some big events coming up, so I want to make sure you mention that real quick.
We do. We have lots going on right now. We have, like I said, we have 3 exhibitions up right now that are temporary. One is on the Boswell Sisters, which was a trio of singers from New Orleans in the 20s and 30s. They were kind of the darlings of radio's golden age. They were precursors actually to the Andrews Sisters. So that display is up through October, the end of October, over at Royal Street. Another exhibition that we have right now is Creole World, photographs of New Orleans and the Latin Caribbean sphere, and that is photographs by Richard Sexton. There's also an associated book that people can purchase. It's a beautiful 11 by 12 photography book, and that is over on Charter Street at 400 Charter Street. And then the other exhibition that we have up right now is about Louisiana's role on the silver screen. It's called From Cameo to Close-Up, Louisiana in Film.
Oh, wow.
That one is a really fun one. That's in our research center, 410 Charter Street. And again, these are all free admission. You can come by, stay as long as you like. And
all on the website.
All on the website. Everything is on the website.
That's great, Lauren. It sounds like you're busy, and congratulations congratulations on that. And again, I love hearing the information because I still think this is one of those things that a lot of people just don't realize how much great stuff is in this city that people can take a part of.
And we've got a lot to look at. So if you're looking for something to do on a hot day and you want to be indoors, come. Free, and it's all free.
Lauren, thanks so much for being on the show. Please come back from time to time and update us on the collection and the new pieces that you have currently that you're on display. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana again. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. So happy to have Leslie Hoffman. Leslie is someone that absolutely needs no introduction in the Cox studio. Leslie, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for taking time to be here. Get Fit with Leslie. How long have you been doing that now?
Woo!
Long time.
A long time. Over 15 years.
15 years.
15
wow.
years on the air. We're on every day of the week, Monday through Sunday, 7:30 a.m. in the morning, 7:30 in the morning. And then, of course, we're on Monday evenings at 7:30 p.m.
Wow.
So we have been very busy, and the show's doing great. And we have someone very special that's going to be on an upcoming show. I can't mention the name, but I want everybody to kind of stay tuned because this person that everyone knows will be working out with us.
I think I know who it is, but I'm not going to say anything either. Let me ask you this. You are so much into fitness and nutrition and, I mean, just what I would call quality living. What do you think is the one question that, if you get asked more than anything, what do you think that would be?
Okay, I get asked a lot of questions. One in particular, how do I lose weight? And it's a question that, I mean, I get every day.
Especially
how do I
living
lose
in
weight?
New Orleans.
Especially living in this great city where we have this wonderful food and all the temptation that surround us. I say that if you just cut your sugar, if you cut your sugar out, you know, if you can just think of just stop drinking the sodas, the pastas, the breads, and whatever, and lean towards more of a protein diet. And then, of course, eat your healthy sugars like fruits. If you can stay away from the processed food, which is really, really hard to do, but if you can do that, you should be able to lose weight, of course, along with exercising. And that could be walking, running, or whatever type of exercise you do following our show, because we do cardiovascular fitness. But also, people that do a lot of sitting throughout the day on their computer, that they just don't get a lot of activity, I recommend getting up, and if you're just doing some squats, or if you're doing just a little 30-second knee lifts. In fact, I kind of put together a little video of a workout that you can do 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Who doesn't have 30
Right.
seconds? I mean, you just need rags, 2 dish rags. And if they have the video, they'll roll it over while we're speaking. And you get on the ground, you do this exercise for 30 seconds, you do it 3 times a day. You're going to boost your metabolism, you're going to burn extra calories throughout the day, and it's just going to make you feel better.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that the sitting is not good for extended periods of time. If you're sitting for like an hour, get up, walk around, do something, you know, march in place, do some squats, do some plies, do something like that.
Well, you know, I find myself even sitting at the computer, I have an external printer that you actually have to walk to. And I find myself, you'll be proud of me, I find myself actually sending things to that printer just so I'll get up and walk 40, 50 steps to the printer just to get up and do something. And I just find that when I'm getting up and walking around, I feel so much better than just sitting there.
Right. And that's another thing we can talk about is we can talk about the lymphatic system. And what I do every morning when I wake up, I'll do a light stretch in bed. And hold the stretch, just 7 or 8 seconds, not a full 30 seconds, because you're really, really not warmed up at that point. So you just really want to take it nice and slow and easy. Stretch out the hamstrings, stretch out the frontal thighs, stretch out your waist, your arms, your body, your torso. You get out of bed, you feel good. You get the lymphatic fluids moving throughout your body, flushes out toxins. And that's another thing. If you don't move, if you don't walk, if you don't stretch, you're going to have the lymphatics, and they're not really kind of flushing your system through the immune system. You want to really kind of keep those lymphatics moving, and you don't want them blocked, because you block them, then you've got the toxin buildup, and then you start developing problems with your health. So you really want to move, you want to stretch, even if you don't spend a lot of time. If you spend 5 minutes stretching in the morning or evening, or whatever, stretch, because it's incredible for the lymphatic system, of course, along with exercise.
I've gotten into a lot of bike riding here lately, and I find that now that I'm riding again, it's just, I feel so much better after doing that.
And you look great.
Well, I appreciate that. Your website is, it's a tough one, getfitwithleslie.com. On the website is information about the show.
It's
but
information about the
tips,
show,
hints, and things like that?
They can reach me through my website.
Okay.
If they want to go to my Facebook page, they can go to Leslie Hoffman or Get Fit with Leslie, and they can find me there and friend me or like me or whatever they want to do. I have 2 separate pages they can like or they can friend. So I love what I do. It's great.
It's obvious,
It's fun.
and you're very good at it.
Yeah, and I just love being able to be a part of the Cox family that I've been a part of for so long.
And I mean this sincerely, we're very fortunate to have you. We're running out of time. The website is getfitwithleslie.com. Always an absolute pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank
Please
you.
come back
Thank
from
you.
time to time, update us on things.
Let me mention one more thing. Read the food labels.
Read the food labels.
Read your food labels and make sure you look at those added ingredients because that's where a lot of things are hidden. So you've got to really be careful with that. So read those food
Good
labels.
information. Good information. Stay with us. We've got more information. One more guest. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana again. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. We've got a great show, and what better way to end us is Ellen Abington. Ellen is the president of the Sabine Humane Society. Ellen, thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, I
and you've got
appreciate y'all.
you've got 2 little guests there with us. Talk a little bit real quick, though,
All right.
about what the Humane Society, your role, and kind of what you
Right.
do. Give us a little background on that.
The Humane Society runs the kill shelter. And as a board, our mission is to spay, neuter, and to get those dogs out of there. The sad thing is 70% are turned in by their owners for whatever reason. But once I started posting, doing rescue work, all of a sudden there is a network of rescuers from everywhere. They're underground. Some of them can't adopt, they foster. Some of them can't foster, they drive. And the other people email, connect. And I brought 6 down yesterday. Last year, we pulled 500 dogs from the shelter.
Wow. And when you say you drove, I just want people to understand what you do and how great that is. You drive.
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
Well, I think it's awesome. You're in Manning, Louisiana, and you drive to New Orleans twice a week, or is
No,
it 2
maybe
times?
about once every 2 weeks.
Once every 2 weeks?
And of course, my daughter lives here, and that gives me another reason. But I bought a Chrysler van, and we took all the seats out, and we have kennels all in it, so I can put 7 or 8 dogs in there. But yesterday, I stopped in Baton Rouge. I kept my house there just for whatever reason, and this one dog jumped over the fence, took off. I was running after him. I thought if I could just get him to New Orleans, you know. But Arno picked up posting for me, and theirs go all over the United States. Leslie has started posting for me. She's got a huge following. So it has really made a difference. And people do care, and I know they're going to care about these little babies.
Well, and
what is it, Shug?
I think she's ready to go. But before she goes,
She wants to go back to them, I think.
talk about the story, because these 2 little guys here are up for
What,
adoption,
baby?
but they've got such an incredible story with them that I wanted you
Well,
to share.
it was just Amanda and I came to Cox, and I said, I think Arno is close to here. And I had delivered all my dogs yesterday, and I didn't have anybody to put on the show. So I called a connection I have at Arno, and I said, do you have a dog maybe we can put on television? And she said, oh, Ellen, we've got 2. Could you do both of them? This woman has stage 4 cancer, had to go to MD Anderson, didn't know where to take them, took them to a kill shelter, I think, or a shelter, and Arno heard about it, and they scooped them up. And here they are.
And then now, are they brother and sister?
No,
or no?
This is Wizard, he is 7, and this is Sugar, she's 8.
But they're together.
They have been raised together
yeah.
since puppies, and he's a full-blooded poodle, and she is a Papillon. And they really want to adopt them together, and they can contact Arno. I have the website, I guess.
We'll put that on the screen.
All
we'll
right.
put that information up.
And
And they are just, they look after each other and they
Oh, he
protect
came
each
over
other.
and he licks on her and checks on her, and they're just, it's just, but there's so many cases of elderly that their dogs are turned in.
Yeah.
And we just need to get the word out there. And like I said, if people are sitting at home and think, oh, I would love to help, call and volunteer. Volunteer at any of the animal groups. Arno always needs them. They were cleaning cages when we were over there.
Yeah.
And if you can't do that, get on the internet and post pictures.
Well, and your website is SabineHumaneSociety.com. We're going to put that on the
is.
screen. All the information about the Humane Society and your
Right.
organization. And again, if we've got somebody watching, these two little guys are so well mannered. They've been sitting here the whole time, and I know they're ready to head down. But
Well, and
we do want to adopt them as a pair. They are
Right.
together.
And I have to add real quickly that we're in a very rural parish. We have the most wonderful shelter manager. And if you have a shelter manager that will help you rescue and adopt, it'll work.
Yeah, that's great.
And that's made a big difference in us being
Well,
able
and
to
thank
lose some more
you
dogs.
for being on the show. Thank you for doing
Thank
what you
you.
do. If more people in this world did what you do, we'd be a much better place for it. So thank you for bringing our two little guests on. We appreciate that. We've got to run.
Thank
Steve Sawyer
you.
across Louisiana, and we'll see you next time.